Hi guys, welcome back. In this one we are taking another quick look at Dogecoin because the last 2 days have actually been quite positive for this coin, and I think, you know what, it is definitely a good time to be looking at this one because obviously it has been selling off for quite some time. We can see from about the 9th of February up until this point here, I would say on about the 18th, we've seen about a 9-day decrease in price for the coin, and things are starting to level out now with that increase coming later on the same day, and actually now today and yesterday we've seen a bit more of an increase in price. So the question is, should you buy this one now? Well, you already know that I am not a financial advisor, so please do make sure to do your own research, but I'm giving all of my opinions in this video. If you might enjoy it, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe because we do make videos on all kinds of things every single day. We talk about stocks, sometimes we talk about cryptos, but generally speaking we talk about investments, and I think you will enjoy this channel. So with all that information being shared, let's just jump into this episode. Right, so yeah guys, Dogecoin has actually seen a lot of volatility over the past month, as you will know, from this initial increase back on the 27th, rallying all the way up to highs of about 8 cents, and then all the way back down to about 5 cents. So I think a lot of this was because of Elon Musk's hype. As we do know, a lot of people did buy in, and I think what happened is we got a big fear of missing out, and what happened is this currency got pumped and pumped and pumped so much that it was inevitable that it was going to come down at the first sight of bad news. And in my opinion, the bad news was Elon Musk saying that people should potentially sell their coins, and I do agree with what he said because he was talking about the fact that if people have too much money in one investment, it's never a good thing. And obviously a lot of people do have that kind of situation with this coin because people are looking at this one as the next Bitcoin, and I'm not saying that it is or isn't the next Bitcoin, but either way guys, if you're wasting all of your rent money on an investment, it's obviously not a good thing. So Elon Musk just reminding people that they should not pour all of their money into investments like Dogecoin, especially with the risk associated. So I think this is initially what saw this sell-off, kind of increase in momentum. I think a lot of people were too hyped about this coin, and at the first sign of bad news, they sold off, and that is obviously not a bad thing because it got a lot of the hype out of the currency, but I think ultimately it did plummet the price a little bit into the ground, so that is something that we should consider. But I think now strength is definitely coming back into this coin over the last 2 days. I think people are kind of aware that at about 4 cents it was a decent price. I think with Dogecoin guys, you don't want to be like these people who have got this fear of missing out, buying at the highs, as soon as it drops, sell out. If you're looking at Dogecoin, the potential really is there. I say this every video, but let's face it, if Dogecoin is going to explode, if it's going to hit $1, $2, $10, whatever you think it's going to hit, it's not going to happen overnight, and I hate to say that, but that is not a bad thing. I think when things like this happen, when the prices fall, people get a bit too scared and sell out at a loss, and that's not necessarily a bad thing if you are, not confident in the investment for whatever reason. But obviously this is not necessarily going to explode overnight to $1, and this is what people do need to be aware of. So obviously we have seen a bit of a sell-off, but I think if you are in Dogecoin, it is for the long haul. We all know that this one started off as kind of a joke currency, people didn't really take it seriously, and as time goes on, Elon Musk's hyping it up, more places are accepting this currency, so it really is coming into the real world and having an actual meaning. I talk about this with cryptos quite a lot. I say that cryptos, if they are going to explode or if they're going to go anywhere at all, they need to have some real world use, i.e. they can be spent or they can be used for something. Look at Bitcoin, is actually a useful currency. So that is what I'm thinking with Dogecoin. It is going to take years for it to be fully accepted in multiple places, if at all, and it is still a risky investment. We don't know how high it's going to go, we don't know if it's reached its max potential, but personally I think the potential is still there, and this one definitely could hit 10 cents, 20 cents, maybe even all the way up to $1. But, and here's a big but, it's not going to happen overnight, and that is not a bad thing, but I think it's something that people need to be aware of. So I just wanted to get that bit out there for the start of the video, just to remind people that, you know what, when stocks drop, when currencies drop, it happens from time to time. I think when people look at stocks, or at least currencies, or whatever you are invested in, I think people just anticipate something like this happening, where they see quite a big increase over just a few days, or at least a few weeks and months. Guys, that is not the case. I'm sure a lot of you also do know that this is true. Stocks or cryptos, they go up, fair enough, sometimes they go up for years and years, but it is never a straight line up, or very rarely it is a straight line up. It flattens out, it goes down. Now we're not going to talk about why, we've already discussed some of the reasons for Dogecoin going up and down, but we just need to be aware that this one is going to fluctuate in price, and even if you are, holding this one, it is for the more long term. I think that's what people need to remember. But going into next week, I do see a lot of positive things coming for this currency. we're going to be talking more specifically about next week in tomorrow's episode, where we're giving a bit of my forecast on this stock, on this crypto. But right now, I think it's not a bad position, to be honest. I think it definitely could see a bit of a further drop later today. I'm not 100% certain of whether that will or will not happen, but either way, I definitely think that the strength is coming back into this crypto. I think it is going to be years or months, at least months, before this one is to explode in a huge, increase in price. But that is not a bad thing. If you are buying Dogecoin, I would buy a relatively small position, and I would definitely put a price target in your head. So please get a price target in your head, make sure it's a realistic one, and expect realistic returns with this currency, because like I said, people are really expecting this one to blow up. It's not necessarily going to happen overnight, and that is not a bad thing. The potential is already there for this currency. It's being accepted in more and more places as time goes on, and cryptos in general are really going up recently, so there is still a lot of growth potential with this currency. But I think people are getting a bit scared as soon as it was to sell off. But right now, I think next week is going to be more positive. We're going to talk about this one in tomorrow's episode, like I said, but I think it's not a bad position that we have been seeing. I said that this sell-off was going to hopefully end tomorrow, back on the 18th, I do believe, and that was what happened. It did actually increase by a small amount. And I think now it's coming to a point where it is relatively flat. I think it is going to start leveling out pretty soon. I think that is what we are starting to see over the past few days. And I would like to see tomorrow, if not Monday, be back in the green. And I think Monday is going to be the crucial one, but I'm going to be talking about all of that information in tomorrow's episode. So if you did enjoy this one, guys, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because we do talk about Dogecoin, like I said, and many other things every single day. So make sure not to miss out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye until the next episode.